All right, everybody. A very, very, very good morning to all of you out there in the warrior confined universe. This is your exalted, your exalted ruler, your exalted leader, Warrior Junior. Let me just hang up my jacket. Sorry, I have to go to my mansion, to hang up things here. I will be right back with you. Actually, I will never leave you. I promise you that. So, oh, sorry. I turn on the fan, get a little cool air. Whoever my regular is out there, may God help you. As I like how they always refer to God as a he. It's so stupid. How do you know? What if it's a woman? Think about this. Women give birth, correct? So, whatever gave birth to the creation of the universe, whatever, it's like, I'm not saying it's a woman, but, I think this narrative, if you want to watch nonsense, see the Star Trek 5, the final frontier. This is a search for God past the Great Barrier, and remember when they find him? And it's one name, many faces, and they show all these different faces. And the last one is like the old guy with the beard, we've come so far, we traveled so far. Magnificent. It's just, how did you bridge the Great Barrier? With a starship. The ship? You could carry my wisdom? Yes, yes. We'll carry like a chariot through all of eternity and everything. Excuse me, who is this? Who is this creature? Don't you know? Aren't you God? It's the best thing. Captain Kirk's line was his classic. He's the greatest. He goes, "Don't you know? Aren't you God?" Bring the ship closer. Spock goes, "This is not the god of Shakari or any other god, In eternity, I've been imprisoned in this place. Like he was put there for a reason. You think about it, he was in prison there for a reason. Okay, he's probably an evil deity or something like that. They put him there because he's fucking dangerous. That's what they do to criminals. They incarcerate them. They can't get out because but it's kind of funny, like the Star Trek 5, the Final Frontier was unfortunately the poorest next to the first motion picture. It was, ugh, you know, but it was a valiant effort. Okay, anyway, so this episode is brought to you by the organics, the tea, chai spice tea. I highly recommend it. It has like a little caffeine in there, so that's the magic. That's the little secret ingredient. So I didn't put any of the, what I put in there. Sometimes I didn't add anything special. Sometimes it's good, when supplements and stuff like that or whatever. Take a day off. Let your body recharge. One day on, one day off. You don't have to obsessively, compulsively do things that are not necessary. It's very important to kind of keep that in mind. Um, when I talk about the pickup and everything like that, and you have your deficiencies, those need to be worked on obsessively and compulsively because they are a major problem for you. Unlike what Jordan Peterson, even though look, some of these guys are really brilliant and stuff like that, but I hated how we used that word psychopath to describe a great pickup artist like Mystery and Style. These guys, you got to understand something, man. You look. I know you can never get time back, it goes, but who knows what kind of drought these poor guys went through. Like I can only speak for myself. Boy, you want to talk about a drought? I make, my life makes with women makes the Mojave Desert look like a fucking rainforest or something. Because man, it was. Let me to bad. They joke in that the 40-year-old virgin. It's like a joke, right? That movie. It's funny and everything like that. Dude, there's how many. It's not funny, man. Going through your whole life and never getting women is nothing to be laughed at. Of course, I mean, if you're homosexual or something like that, or a eunuch or something, that's a difference. I don't even know if that's a real thing, but could you imagine like a gay person if they never got their needs met ever? They would go crazy. They would kill themselves. It's been documented. I've read things about this that they think, what's wrong with that? They couldn't live. Look, there's a natural human need is to get off, or find somebody or companionship. This thing about depression, whatever. If you really analyze things down to the deepest root, you can figure out why is somebody suffering with this thing. It's okay, it could be chemical imbalance or something like that. I know that, but I can tell you something. Can you imagine if something as natural and simple as companionship, and you never have that, and you want that more than anything, and you never get it? People may hit the threshold of giving up, and they just might off themselves because they just had enough already. They feel like it's never going to happen. I put my whole life into trying, and I'm just one of those people that, no woman's going to want, or I guess for a gay guy, no guy's going to want. So I don't know. Like they hit a threshold of how much they can take. Now my thing is that, you know it's a tough one. It's a tough one. I don't see myself committing suicide because I can't meet a woman. I don't. Because you see, then you're putting too much stock into somebody else. You have to build as a warrior, the inner strength to be able to say, hey, you know what? Once, let's say, all the ducks in a row, and I start to move ahead, then hopefully those things will be attractive to you. I know it sounds good, but there's no guarantee. I have a friend that's very financially successful. He never meets any women. It doesn't bother him. But that's him. For me, it would drive me absolutely nuts to be financial, like wealthy and not get nothing. Especially if you go back to my last episode, I talked about the importance of money as it's the single most. It's like breathing. I mean, air. We need air to survive, right? Without air, you die. Period. There's no question. And without money, you die too. You will not be able to sustain yourself. It's like water. You need water to live, right? And unfortunately, we need what is referred to as money, currency, you know, to buy what we need to survive. I don't know if I did an episode on this, but I had the solution. I created something that, and I'm not, I'm actually, I can't say I created. I have to be very careful when I say that, because it's not true. Um, there's a series called on YouTube. You can watch for free. It's a documentary series called Zeitgeist. I will spell it out for you. Zeitgeist. Zeitgeist. It's a three movie, like a trilogy, but it's a documentary series. It goes very deep into things that I talked about earlier, the creation of the Federal Reserve System, certain religions, but the most important thing that I really came away from was the idea of how a society could function without the use of money. Incredible. The barter system. Without the barter system. See, this takes you. If you think you're going to come up with this like this, you're looking for the fast and easy, my friend. Okay. You watch those three movies. It'll open up your mind like you'll start going from the Homo inferior on up. Okay? That's the tip for today. Those Zeitgeist movies. I don't know why I call them movies, documentaries, information, learning. Okay? It's like 6 hours, all three of them. time well spent, information, relative important information, vital information in there. Starts to put together things. Your mind will start to open up a little bit, hopefully. Um, if that's what you want to try to become. I the problem is that the power of money is so powerful. You don't have time to open up your mind to try to better yourself because you're too focused on survival. And the power of money, I already showed you. If you look at the back of the dollar bill, there's a pyramid on there for a reason. It's not there because some artist felt like, hey, this kind of what should we put on the back of it? It's just amazing. It's an amazing thing. They know. They knew a lot longer. They knew longer, lot more than you can imagine. It's there for a reason. Oh, don't get me wrong. I love money. I wish I had more of it. If I had enough money, you know, you could buy, like, and I hate to say this, but again, I promised to be honest with you from the day one. I mean, oh boy. It's just you're gonna criticize. I know people are take stuff the wrong way, but you cannot have a fragile ego. I think that successful guys buy women like inanimate objects, you know? And I'm not saying a woman is an inanimate object. It's a person with feelings and everything. But it just seems like they go with a guy just because he has something to offer financially. Drive a nice car, has a nice house, or has a good job of status. All equates to money, you know? All equates to money. In the most vaguest, the term, it's money, but it's not because it's what money represents, and it's like everything. It's everything. Yeah, What about things like the Olympics? These people, there's no money in that. Yeah, with a sponsorship, there's worldwide recognition, which is tied to money and status and everything, and advertisers. It's all money. It's all controlled by money on television, from the advertisers, commercials, everything. All money that's generated from that. You watching it and seeing those commercials and you going out and buying something is money. It's all tied to money. And the problem is that that's what's on most people's minds, especially the homo inferior, because most homo inferiors do not have any money. Most. I never say all because there are outliers out there. There are people that are very financially successful that I would put in that low tier, and it's quite rare because if they're financially successful, they're generally smart. But I don't think they deserve to be up there because they might be just because you're smart and financially successful. That doesn't mean you're homo superior, in my mind. In the norm status, they are. To the average sheep, they are. But again, I'm not your average sheep. I'm above that. Because the average sheep cannot see beyond the smoke screen. They can't. They're not trained. It's like in Star Wars, there's not everybody's a Jedi. It's a serious commitment. You know, and people get offended when the average person, whatever, they because I don't go around offending people. Again, it doesn't do anything for me. And I made sure that women at the market, that woman working there, That's why I did not engage her. I did not engage. I just, because it wasn't worth it. So actually, it's never worth it. It's never worth it because they're not capable of understanding. Okay, they just can't. They're too far beneath. That's reality. You know, it would take too much work and too much time. You have to give so much of yourself to try to, just for one person, to try to get them out of. They're so far underground, proverbially. Not, they're not really underground, but you know what? They're just their blinders are on so hard that it would take, like, there's serious commitment on their part, and a lot of people do not want the blinders off. Okay, you have to understand that they don't want those blinders off. They like the way that this is the way they are. That's the way it is. Do not try to help me. Okay, and I won't help you. I'm not here to help you. I'm here to help myself. You can call it selfish, you can call it whatever you want. I'm here to benefit myself. Okay, that's the number one goal of this channel, is for me to help myself. And I know you think, well, then why are you recording? Why are you putting this out there? Because you're too stupid. I'm sorry. You're too homo inferior to understand. You're not there yet. You don't understand the basic thing that if I'm talking in the universe first, okay, that's first. Is I got to get mine first. And then this is all saved and put up there, put out there. And then if I get mine, then this thing stays on there to hopefully help somebody. But I got to get mine. I do this for me. Okay, that's it. I don't do this for anything for you to listen to your comments or anything. I don't care. You don't mean nothing to me. It doesn't matter who you are. You're irrelevant. Okay? It's just like when I try to reach out and to powerful people in Hollywood and try to ask them, please, no, there's no mercy. There's no mercy, okay? And I didn't make the world this way. They did. Other people did. When I try to do approaches and women and other guys, or other women, I didn't make that. I didn't create that, put your face, beat you to your knees and keep you there mentality. I didn't create that. The society did. And the problem is that most women, if they're attractive, they're going to be like that. I said most, not all. There's exceptions. But unfortunately, it's been my life experience that every woman that's considered what I would consider the attractive ones, their needs are met. Okay? Their needs are met. I can't settle for what I don't like. That's just not, it doesn't mean nothing to me. And I told you, I did some very nice things in my opinion. Like when I go to these older people dance and there's women there, I'm not even attracted in the slightest, but I danced with them just because they told me they needed it or something. I was getting that vibe. I was like, can you please, it did absolutely nothing for me. Nothing. I just kept a great attitude, and hoping. So I know it's like using trickery in a way, that hoping that maybe somebody would see. It's like, oh, okay, he's a great, nice person. He's dancing with these other women. He's being a nice person, but it doesn't lead to nothing. You can't expect to get nothing out of it, and I didn't get nothing. Okay, and it's like it sucks because you just another week Another week goes by. Another week goes by. And it's fucking go down there, all the way down there, and not get nothing again. And then that woman goes, "Oh, you'd be a great, I'd be your big sister." 55. I'm 47. I'm no fucking big sister. Now, when you text me that was my initial mindset. That's yes, it cracked my frame there, but I didn't respond that way because I knew if I responded with what I wanted to really say, then it's over. Okay, then it's 100% over anyway. Well, and then what happens is she tells other people about, because all those people kind of know each other. It's, oh no, you stay away from him, kind of thing. You can shoot yourself in the foot real easily. Uh, but shame on her for leading me on. Dancing really intimately for that long, and at the end of the night, hey, you're gonna hang out. July 4th. Oh no, no, I'm going to watch the fireworks bomb. That's complicated. I can't. And I just said no worries and no problems in my text, everything. Oh, you're so sweet. You're so sweet. Back to getting off on my own again here. Thanks for, having a little Rachmunis. Just Rachmunis is a Yiddish word, what means sympathy. Okay? Sympathy. It's like, imagine, a guy holding it in for like whatever, a long time, and he sees a woman, and he's like, man, yeah, that would be, I could just imagine, that'd be a great time to get naked with this woman and everything. And these women don't have no Rachmunis whatsoever. No Rachmunis whatsoever. Jesus. Okay, I know probably what you're gonna flip the coin on me, and you're gonna say that those older women that like you, it doesn't matter. Okay, they're irrelevant. It doesn't matter. I don't care. There's other guys there. If they're good enough for them. I'm just talking about me. Okay. The taxi guy that took me all the way. What I went through to get to this place, some of these places. Oh my God, man, fuck, holy shit! Walking on the freeway. I shared that story with you a couple weeks ago. The highway, technically, but it was just like the same thing. I've never been. I couldn't believe what a guy's willing to do to get to some place. Good music though, but it's like these people, like even these older people, they're just, their minds are. It doesn't matter. Remember, I told you, it doesn't matter what their age is. Their mind is down here, down at sheep level or something, or below. Man, at least I tried. Fuck. That's what the guy at my gym told me. He said, at least you tried, warrior, At least you tried, man. You're going to get, I love when people say that. You're going to get the hottest fucking chick. And I said, you know what? I fucking wish, but I got to be honest with you. You people, sorry, I got to be honest with you. I don't believe it. I don't believe it. I don't, and that's why you're not going to get it. No, that's not why I'm not going to get it. Okay? It's not because I don't believe. I know it sounds really good, the narrative. You don't believe, you're not going to get. I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because here in Los Angeles, the bar is so high, and I told you that money controls everything. And those women, their needs are met, okay? And they're bombarded by all these other guys. And their mind, even though they're incredibly beautiful, is down here. Or maybe baseline sheep average level thinking. I told you how hard it is to get. I'm not there. I'm not homo superior. No, but I'm definitely in that gray area, in between. I'm closer to going that way than I am to this sheep like inferior level thinking. I can't. I do too much, self improvement to be down there. I work too hard at it every day. So my point is, there's not many women up there anyway. There was not many people up there anyway. So you can't. I told you, there's too much interference. You're up against a shitload of competition, and it's just, I don't shine out here. It doesn't matter how pure of a heart, nice guy you are. Those women that look like they're getting attention, being bombarded constantly and daily, and even with your most sincerest, trying to stick out or whatever. Look, not one. I told you, I go this dancing. There were over 200 people there. Okay, didn't matter. There was nothing that was, I told you though. I've been a couple weeks, and then Irvine and one in Anaheim. I've been back there again. I guarantee, there were plenty of people in the hotel. Like, they were going, yeah, of course, they're all scooped up. They're all scooped up with other guys. Other guys grab those, okay? Those women are not single available. You think of women that are that attractive are going to be alone? Are you fucking stupid? If you do, you are stupid, okay? I'm telling you, I'm calling you stupid. All you people, if you believe that. They're not, okay? They're telling you they are. They are not. They have attractive friends, okay? They're not nobody. They don't have nobody, okay? A beautiful woman is a heavily valued commodity, okay? I know she's not an inanimate object, but it's a very valuable commodity, okay? It has a tremendous value. Why do you think these guys work so hard and they have the fucking mansions and big cars? You don't think they're using that as power and leverage to get those kind of women? Are you stupid? If you do, you follow along the narrative of what most people tell you. The movies, they try to sell you a nonsense. They're trying to sell you a nonsense, okay? They're trying to take you for a ride, and most people go along on the ride, and because it sounds nice. It sounds nice to believe that this incredibly beautiful woman just looking for a nice guy. He doesn't have to have any of these things. He doesn't have to have anything. What's that song? What's that Paul Abdul song in the 80s? It ain't the things that you got. It ain't the things that you got. It ain't the money or the diamond rings, honey. I ain't impressed by those material things. It's just the way that you love me. It's just the way that you love me, baby. It's not true. Okay? All right? Who was she married to? Emilio Estevez, divorced, and then some other wealthy fucking guy at something. She got divorced, okay? And dated, I think she dated Simon Cowell or something. That's real famous. We're wealthy, okay? All right? Janet Jackson's married a billionaire or something like that. Don't give me this. Don't lie. You're lying and you're fooling yourself. The music is fooling you, okay? You are the fool. You just don't know it. You don't know that because that's what it is. All this stuff is marketed to the masses, and the masses are fools, okay? I'm sorry to say, but it's true. It's damn true. The masses are fools, okay? And why are they fools? Because your creativity can't work when you're watching some other person that's doing, okay? You're watching like 2.5 Men or something. Like, I've seen all that stuff, and it's like, he's just being himself kind of thing. Just a little tweak to Charlie Sheen or whatever like that. It's a great show, man. That guy's talented. Yeah, it's funny and everything with that Alan and the Rose and with all these people and that stupid kid, that Jake or whatever, Yeah, and you're watching them get paid. Actually, you're not watching them. You're watching them perform. They're watching them get paid. They're watching themselves get paid a lot of fucking money because they're doing. Okay? and you're just watching. And when you're watching, your creativity is not working. Your mind is like on, it's just it's focused on them. Okay? So your creativity is not flowing, your own individuality and your own thing. And then the commercials come on, and then you're looking at, oh, what do they show you? Try to sell you a car, food, things that you need. Yeah, or they show you whatever. And back to the show. And it's like, funny, laughing. Man, 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 man. Ooh, man, 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 and they show you the house on the beach like that, and you think like it's a farce, right? But in reality, both those guys can afford that fairly quite easily. They can live like that. They have more than that. They're laughing all the way to the bank, and the fools, the millions and millions and millions of people wasting their time watching that, they're just passing time. Those guys are moving ahead and up and up and up, and then the people just passing the time. It's like being a bum. It's like you're kind of like bumming. I didn't know what that word actually meant. I researched. I said, "What is bum?" And he said, "Well, it's a English term. It's a European term. It means you're sitting on your bum. You're sitting on your ass." You know, I didn't know that. I didn't know. I thought a bum is like just the definition of a homeless. A bum. No, you're sitting on your bum, on your ass. You're not doing anything. And that's what most people are doing. They're sitting and watching the stupid shows, and there's nothing to be learned. Okay, there's no growth that occurs. It doesn't spark your imagination. It doesn't. It's mindless entertainment to get a laugh or something, because the laugh sets off the high in your brain or something. I don't know. It's stupid. It's not a you know it just passes time. It's just a waste of time. Meanwhile, it's like what Charlie Sheen was married to Denise Richards or something like that. I think he's powerful. It's like these people that is like they're just going out with the people that are wealthy and powerful. They intermingle with each other, and they wouldn't even they're now again. It's like society puts them at homo superior. It's very difficult not to, because it's like they can do anything with their money. And I told you that money controls everything. Not basically, it does. It controls absolutely everything. Okay? People will leave. I told you what happened with my uncle. You're divorced. What happened? A family friend got divorced, and my aunt went to him. And they have a kid together. And she left. Okay? What about love? You'd be surprised what happens to love when enough money is involved. I want you to think about that very, very carefully. Okay? You think about that. When enough money is involved, what happens to love? All right? You tell me that money is not. It's. How do I say it? It's everything, but it's not anything. It's like it shouldn't be. It should not be. In my mind, I have the answer. I have the answer to the whole thing. It would have to restructure the entire society. Okay, it's not a perfect system either, and I didn't create it. It was taken from the Zeitgeist, the third movie. There's a way that society can function without money. Okay, it's possible, and it's not the barter system. And if you can try to figure this thing out without watching that movie and putting it on, then you're probably up here the way you're thinking, because there's almost nobody can figure that out. Okay, it's beyond your level of thinking. I didn't think of it. I saw the movie, and I was like, just what a fucking incredible concept. It came up in the 70s. And most people can't even relate to it because they never seen nothing like it. And it's not a kibbutz kind of idea of living, where it's you grow your own food kind of thing. It has nothing to do with that at all. Okay, I don't want to get into it because it's too complex. It would take me too long. I'd be, and I really don't feel like it's worth even talking about anyway. Because maybe the way it will work 500 years from now, maybe I don't know. I don't know. I even forgot what the narrative or what the topic of this episode was supposed to be. I forgot already. I put it in the title, and I just started going off, rambling about the Star Trek and things. I don't know. Like I feel something, and I roll with it. I just run with it. But the important thing is the narrative of the women of that. This type of farce. It's a farce that people believe that these incredibly beautiful women, they're lonely. They can't find a nice guy, kind of thing. Um, yeah, I didn't even talk about pets. I didn't even get into that. Now, again, I love animals. I'm a cat. I love cats. I'm a cat psycho. I love cats. I don't have any. I had one. He had a stroke. I never got another one. I don't want the responsibility because I think what it does, it anchors you. When you have a pet, especially a dog, that dog has got to be walked. That dog has to be taken out. Has to take a shit. Has to eat. Your whole life kind of revolves around the dog, and it gives you unconditional love. So it covers a lot of those bases. So that way you don't have to go out there and try to meet somebody. Okay? Well, other people, other dog owners and stuff like that. As an excuse, there's always, I can see what I do is I can counter myself. I counter myself because I know what most of the normals are thinking. Years from now, when people are watching this, that's what they're going to be thinking. But I don't think that way. Okay? But I throw out, so you don't even have to write your comments. You don't have to like yell into the thing and why didn't you think about that? Because if you have that type of attitude, you're so far down in the homo inferior kind of thinking that it's you're so far away from learning. It's like you can't learn algebra till you know basic arithmetic, and you don't even know how to add. So if you don't even know how to add, I'm talking algebra here, and that's why people like they commented that's it's like talking to somebody like a Neanderthal or something like that, and that's how it's pronounced, by the way. It's not Neanderthal, even though it's written that way. It's Neanderthal. That's the proper way of saying it. These people ape like minds. Q said that in the pilot of the Next Generation Encounter at Farpoint. How you people can learn with your ape-like primate mind. You're so far, you not, compared to him. He's part of the continuum, This is far advanced. You think you're so far, you don't know anything. How can you? Because you're going through life with the blinders on. And that's what most people do that focus on making money. They're going through life with blinders on. Okay? That's it. You can see. They get it? Maybe. Will that make them a better person? No. Financially better? Yes. But because I said that money is like the most important thing, that's what people are focused on for the most part. But I told you, just having money will not make you a homo superior. It will not. No way. No way. It's very important, for survival and doing things. Yeah, I have enough money. Like, who needs a girlfriend? You can just pay women every night. What's the difference? What's the difference? There is no difference. The only difference is what you think is different. Is what you perceive as being different. I remember one of these escorts I was with many years ago. She told me something. She goes, "You pay one way or the other." I really didn't, and I thought about that. Like, oh my god, these guys that take their wives out to dinner every once in a while and do this and that, they're paying for it. It's a difference. Well, they're together, kind of thing. They're together. Well, okay. Last time I checked my statistics, not my statistics, I checked the statistics. I told you nearly half of marriages end in divorce in this country. 50%. Maybe it's a tiny bit less. 49. 2/3 in Southern California. 2/3 last time I checked is 66%. So these people that are like, not paying escorts every night, they're in marriage and they're divorcing 66%. And what happens? Well, then they divvy up the assets. Then the guy has a house, then the woman gets this, or that. Taking you to cleaners. So what do you wind up with? You get screwed without getting laid. It's almost like paying the women out there. It's almost the same thing, isn't it? In a way. I'll tell you a story. Hulk Hogan, Terry Bollea. Hogan knows best, one of the GOAT, GOAT is the analogy for greatest of all time. Probably regarded as, he's the man. And Hulk Hogan is regarded as a modern day. You don't have to be a wrestling fan to know who Hulk Hogan is. Such an impact on a generation of kids and Hulkamaniacs and everything like that. I met him when I was a kid. He's like nicest person, Why am I talking so much about him? Like, why am I making so much reference? Well, because he made a lot of money, right? For his years and time. He was married for a long time. He got divorced, and his wife cleaned him out. And cleaned him out royally. They take you to the cleaners. I know it's kind of funny, but it's sad, but between the lawyers and everything like that. I remember I saw a documentary. He was going through like his attic. He was going through trying to find stuff worth some money or maybe something, because he wasn't even a millionaire at that point. He wasn't even a millionaire anymore. Can you imagine what that's like? Can you imagine somebody that basically, was the most famous wrestler, making a lot of fucking money all through the 80s and everything, into the 90s and everything. Okay? It's a top draw, the Hulk Hogan, And he's not even a millionaire anymore. A net worth of 1 million. That's it. Not even. He wanted to commit suicide. He was like late 50, maybe 60 years old at the time, maybe 60s already. Now he's wiped out completely everything. Can't wrestle anymore. Back surgeries, fucked up everything. Doing that leg drop, Brother, if I was smart, I would have done the sleeper. That leg drop. The compression, the lower back. It's an odd move, oddball movements. That's how you get fucked up in weight training and in anything. And there's those wrestlers, all those kind of movements. It's like, even though it's not really choreography, but it's like, some of that moves, acrobatic kind of things. These guys are big fucking dudes, man. Their bodies are not meant to be flopping around like that. You could fuck yourself up really, really easily and really, really bad. All those guys, almost all of them have some type of issues with that. And I didn't even talk about steroids. They're fucked up on the outside and then fucked up on the inside from the chemicals. Fucked up plus fucked up equals fucked up. So I don't want to get off. I want to finish the story about Hogan. So it was, it looked like it was at their wit's end, and he knew Muhammad Ali's daughter. I think it was Tatiana Ali, if I'm not mistaken. And it was like he was at wit's end there, and he called her up, and I think he said, you know what, this is it. I'm checking out. And she talked him down and talked him out of it. Okay, I think, if I'm not mistaken, she saved his life. Okay, there was somebody there for him when he needed it. Then came the Gawker lawsuit, finally settled. He got like, I don't know, it was $150 million lawsuit or something like that. He's fine now financially. But you don't know what people go through like that. What's my point? Why did I talk about Hogan? Why did I talk about? Because that was my point about women, being with you, married for that long, and then she wiped him out financially. You don't know. How long money is going to last you or something, or the type of living, the costs of everything. So it's very, very important to understand the truth and reality. The truth and the reality. So when somebody tells you and tries to sell you the narrative that these beautiful women are just looking for a nice guy and they have their own money and they don't need this and that, okay? It sounds good. It sounds sweet, but it's not true. There are exceptions, but generally, no. And that's why, Jennifer Lopez was with A-Rod, okay? These people like that have that big money and everything like that. It's the same thing. The story, I'll tie it to Star Wars. The tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise. Anybody that knows the prequels, the famous story that Chancellor Palpatine told Anakin Skywalker during the play, the Squid play. Have you ever heard the tragedy of Darth Plagueis the Wise? Anakin goes, no. Goes, sure you haven't. It's not a story that would be told about the Jedi, to the Jedi. Well, tell me. Darth Plagueis the Wise was a Sith Lord, Dark Lord of the Sith. Oh, he had such a power over the dark side. But he could use his metachlorins to create life. Such a wise power of the dark side. Oh, what happened to him? He became so powerful
that the only thing he feared was losing his power, which eventually he did. And what happened was that he taught his apprentice everything he knew, and he killed him in his sleep. Ironic. He could save others from death, but not himself.
What's the point of that story of the Darth Plagueis the Wise? Well, if you listen to what I said, the only thing he feared was losing his power, which eventually he did. And that's a lot of wealthy people. The only thing they fear is losing their money, their power. And that's the reason that those people have to marry up. Because money is power. I tie everything together. And I know I make a joke about it because that fantasy ties to this reality. You have to understand that. You have to understand that money is power. Okay? And you can understand that because you're looking at it from the perspective that money buys things. You know, most people look at it that way. It's like, you go to the market, you buy food or something like that. You get a mortgage, to buy a house or condo or whatever. You don't see the power. But the people financially up here, they see the power. And the power is with that kind of wealth, you don't have to go to the market. Other people do it for you. You can push people around like pawns on a chessboard. You can have people drive you around anywhere and everywhere you need to go. You can fly privately on a private jet whenever you want to leave, and you don't have to sit next to anybody. If you're powerful enough, you can have whoever and whatever come to you. Let me give you an example. The Sultan of Brunei was at one time the wealthiest man on the planet. He's been surpassed by, Bill Gates or whatever. Maybe close to Warren Buffett, maybe. I'm not sure. But, Bezos, whatever. But at one point, Sultan of Brunei was the wealthiest man on the planet. And I think, I don't know, was it his birthday or something years ago, 50th birthday? I don't know if he's still alive or whatever. But he want to have like Michael Jackson come out and like dance for him or whatever. Not a problem. His cousins or his sons, one of his sons or whatever, one of the princes, likes football. Wants to learn how to throw a football. They had Joe Montana come out there to teach him how to throw a football. Whoever, I forget, somebody else came out there with him too. Do you see? I think everybody that was invited to his birthday party got like a Rolls Royce and like a solid gold picture frame or something like that. Everybody who was invited to his party got a brand new Rolls Royce. Something like that.
Do you see what I'm talking about here? The power of somebody like that? You command the most famous person, entertainer in the world to show up for you. One of the greatest quarterbacks, whatever, show up for you. That's not money, that's power. Money is what most people use, the crumbs. I told you, those people, it's a buffet. If you ever been to, like, I don't know, the Bellagio, I'm just throwing it out. They have a giant buffet, right? You're comparing the buffet of something like that to if you put out like a plate and you put some crumbs on there. That's what most people are. They're those crumbs compared to that buffet. You have to understand the scope of what I'm talking about here. And when I do my 9/11 one on 9/11, I hope that you'll see the scope of what I'm trying to explain and why things happen the way they do. Unbelievable, you know? As far as I know, I think I heard about this, that the Sultan of Brunei was on a plane. Free flight. I don't know. And it was like a stewardess or something. Continental Airlines, something like that. I don't know if he saw it, somebody else saw it. He just liked the girl, right? Whatever. She married him like that. She married, of course. The richest man in the world. Okay? I told you the Marlon Brando story, that he's sitting in bed, he's watching on his TV, he's watching the news or something, and a weather girl comes on. He makes one phone call. The second she got off of work, 2, 3 hours later, she was in bed with him. At the time, Marlon Brando was, he was the #1 draw or something. So it's power. That's not money, that's power. There's a difference. It's like power over mind, like the Emperor, like Palpatine. Those stormtroopers, they're like, kind of like mindless zombies. If you watch, like in New Hope, except well, at one time, TK421. Why don't you at your post? Why don't you copy TK421? You just watch the stormtroopers go along with the other ones. They're just do whatever they're told, like they're being controlled by another entity, like the Emperor or whatever. That's how I look at it. Like the Emperor has control over all their minds, and they just don't think. They're mindless. I think kind of like most people are like that, in my opinion. Even though most people, they have their views and things like that. But think about that. Remember I talked about the 3 levels of people? Not the homo inferior and the superior. I talked about the people that gossip, the lowest level of people, and that's what most people are. They gossip. They just talk about other people. And then, like the average, the sheep, they talk about current events. What's going on in the world. But I told you what the top tier are on that level. They're the inventors. They're the creators. They're the doers. They're not the watchers. They're not the ones that are, gossiping or talking about current events. They don't give a fuck. They're the ones that are making all that stuff happen. They're the ones running the shows of everything. They're running the show, literally, proverbially. That's the highest level of those 3. people like I talk about, they're, you know, I'm sorry. I mean, I just, it sounds like I'm belittling some, but I am. I am. Because I used to be down there. And then I started to learn. I said, wait, what? What do you mean I'm down here? I kind of like had a self discovery. I kind of came up with all my, what do you mean I'm down there? Holy shit. I got to get out from down from under there. That's nonsense. You know, I came out from down there. I was never a baseline sheep. Never was. I passed that one up. I stepped over that one fairly easily. Because I'm too, you know, opinionated. I'm too combative. I'm too bold. Those sheep are not bold, okay? So I had like the innate, natural, like drive to go past the sheep. You know, that was easy. But being like a curmudgeon and a complainer, that's down there. I was there. I was there. I didn't know. How do you stop from being that? Ah, that's work, my friends. That's work. It's not going to be easy. It's not going to be easy. And I'll say it one last time. It's not going to be easy. It can be done, though. It takes a very, very serious mind to change everything. You know, what was installed in here, a complete overhaul. Some things can stay, you know, like your the good. There's stuff that can be salvaged, but there's so much garbage that needs to be thrown out, that needs to be rewired and put back together properly and built from the ground up. And a lot of people, they won't do it because you have to be willing to give something up in order to allow for something to come in. And most people are not going to do it. It's just too big of a sacrifice. And when it comes to meeting women, it's the same thing for them. They're not willing to give up something to allow somebody like me to come in. It's too big of a sacrifice. And that's why it's so hard to connect. That's why it's so hard to get laid. Okay? Just is. Those old people, when I go to those dance events, they're the same fucking way they're thinking. Okay? Doesn't matter that they're older. They're just you know, they can't. They can't, you know, they don't know why. They just can't. And that word can't doesn't apply to me. It's not in the Warrior Junior Dictionary. I don't know what that means. I can't. And you won't. Why? Because you're scared. You're scared of the unknown. You're scared of change. Most people are. I'm not most people. You know, I'm not. I'm not. I decided there was this online little book I saw on YouTube called The Outliers. And some guy called me that. He goes, "You're an outlier, man." And they go, "Liar? What do you mean?" I tell the truth. What do you mean, liar? What do you mean, liar? He goes, No. An outlier. Look it up. I didn't know what it meant. I never heard the term before. I didn't know what it was. I thought someone's telling me I'm fibbing. I'm a cheat. You know, but no. And I looked it up and I said, "Oh, it's somebody that lies outside."
that lies outside of the norm. So I said, and I listened to this outliers. I said, well, what does that mean? What do you mean lie outside of the norm thing? And then I started to see, wait a second, like some of the most influential people on the planet are outliers. It's very interesting, but I'm not an influential person on the planet. I'm not. Well, there's also outliers that are homeless, bums and stuff too. They they're on the bottom, if you're looking at a financial thing, on the outliers, there's everybody in the homeless people, which are relatively few in comparison to everything. They're the outliers. They're also outliers. There's plenty of different types of outliers out there that fit outside of the general consensus of schlep rocks or whatever. I don't know what to call them. The sheep. I don't know what to call them. I don't care. I'm definitely an outlier in the gym. That's for sure. 100%. What is that? And what does that do? It feels like it does nothing except give me unwanted, unnecessary attention, which I don't, does absolutely nothing for me. Okay? That's not why I try to be an outlier. I don't like it. I don't need their attention or anything. I just want to be the best I can at everything I do. But the problem is to get really proficient and get really good at something. It's called the dirty work has to be done. I call it trench warfare. And that's like, the stuff that is not nice to look at. It's the dirty work. It's kind of like, I seen like, the military dress, like when military soldiers, they're in the dress uniform, going to like a banquet or something. It's like really prestigious. It's clean, like it's let me say not conservative. That comes to me in a second. Give me a second. It's distinguished, It's distinguished. But you look at like a real war, not the ones in the movie. In the movies, okay, they can show you like it, but it's not. It's distinguished, body parts flying everywhere and stuff. It's awful. I call that the dirty work, the trench warfare. When I'm in the gym and I'm going, I got snot coming out of my nose. I gotta go get a tissue. It's like ridiculous. I'm the only person getting that shit because I'm working so fucking hard. All the garbage is coming out. That's how hard I fucking work. Then I know I'm working hard when that kind of crap happens. And the sweat's like coming down, like dripping. I'm working my ass off. And I don't need anybody's validation or anything because those people that are in there, they're not capable of understanding because in order to have intensity, you have to be advanced. You can't. If you're not like an advanced athlete, you can't have intensity. You can't. It comes, it's like you got to have the knowledge to be able to push yourself that hard to have that intensity. And I don't think I'm not even that good. The only thing I'm good at is trying really hard at something. That's it. I'm not a great fighter. I'm not a great pickup artist. I'm not nothing. But one thing, and Will Smith said this, the one thing you're not going to fucking beat me at, you're not going to outwork me. You're not going to outwork me. He said, I will like die on that treadmill first. He goes, I remember I heard him say that and I thought about this. I said, that's the reason this fucking guy is so successful. He said, no one's going to outwork him. But somebody gave him a fucking chance, though. You have to understand something. In the entertainment business, you could want something so bad and try so hard.
But you are at the whim of the studio executives, okay? If they don't see anything in you, I don't care how hard you try. I'm sorry. You have to answer to somebody above you. Of course, when he walks around in the street, it's Will Smith. Oh, he's a famous actor, he's rich and everything like that. But you don't know. The reason he's rich and he's famous is because he's bankable. Therefore, the studio executive, the owners of the studio, whatever, to make the movie, that's what they pay him. Because he's famous. You get like when it's now he wasn't always, but the thing is, he's been in this for a long time. Since 1990, whatever, he did that show, Fresh Prince of Bel-Air, but he got lucky to get cast. He got the lead. If he didn't get that lead, it's like there's an element of luck in there. Well, he was a rapper before then too. I know, I'm well aware. That doesn't guarantee you a television career, though. It doesn't. But the element of being the right person at the right place at the right time for the right opportunity, all those things. You know how many people try to make it in Hollywood that don't make it? Compared to that. Okay? There's plenty of people that work hard and everything. The ship didn't come in because it's beyond your control. You cannot walk in there to the studio executives and go, you know what? I'm going to tell you how it is. No, it doesn't work that way. Okay? Was that movie? Selena, whatever, made Jennifer Lopez the highest paid first woman to make $1 million. First Latina paid actress to make $1 million. She never would have been if it wasn't for Selena dying. The studio executive said, we got to make a movie about this. And she's famous. She was Selena is a famous Mexican, the Latina pop star. And they say, well, what do we got? Who do we got here? He says, well, there's this woman that kind of looks like her. She could shake her ass. She could sing and dance. Now she put herself in the position because, I guess she was trained to act, basically basic acting skills, a nice look and everything like that. So it was the right person at the right place at the right time for the right opportunity. It was everything that happened that worked. But I think a lot of it has to do with luck. I think. And nepotism. Charlie Sheen is his dad. Martin Sheen is the actor Apocalypse Now or whatever. Of course, he probably had to train and everything like that, but he got an in. The door opened. Somebody gave him a chance. Somebody gave him a chance. You understand? Somebody gave him a chance. The problem I have with actors in entertainment business is these people are regarded to as royalty. Okay? They are basically royalty in this country. They should not be. People made them this. They made them very wealthy. Okay? The sheep made them. That's a problem. And if you want to know my idea of how the whole thing how a society can function without money, that's one of the things that would have to be completely restructured. Completely. The problem is, it's you couldn't fathom. It's a problem. The whole thinking thing, the whole process has to be changed.
because it doesn't work. What it does, it gives all the power to the hands of a limited few, relatively a limited few, and then there's everybody else. I know I use that analogy a lot, but it's not the same. When I go like this and I equate the 1% financially and everybody else, that is not the same, not equal to Homo inferior, sheep, the gray area, and the Homo superior. It's not the same. It's not the same. It appears to be the same because our society is a is a money based society, and we worship the people at the top, whether you know it or not. Why do you think Warren Buffett's always on CNBC talking? He has the most money, or one of the most. That's why he's always on these things. Or the CEOs of those companies and stuff like that talking. They're the most powerful fucking people. Why do you think you see the same actors all the time? Because they're bankable. Every once in a while, okay, somebody new might come up, but they're not there unless they like feel like they have to be bankable. The movie studios, they don't want to take risk. They're not in the gambling business. They're in the money making business. And if enough movies lose enough money, they're out of business. So how do you guarantee like that you're going to be a profitable business venture? You put the same fucking guy that you know is everybody knows who he is. That's why Harrison Ford made so many movies. Now it's like The Rock, you know, they pushed him. But if you look at everything, it's not, you know, it's not that it's The Rock. It's, you know, they needed to have a replacement for Arnold. Okay, it was Arnold and it was Stallone, but they're getting old, so they need somebody to fill those shoes. So they found this guy. This is the Rock kind of thing. He didn't come from nowhere. But that's all it is. It's just a bankable person. And so they crank out, you know. What they give these people is relatively not a lot to compare to how much a studio will make. It sounds like a lot. Wow, they made $15 million for that movie. Whew. Wow. It's a lot for a movie. Yeah. Yeah? What was the gross? How much did the movie make? And then worldwide box office sales. How much did they take in? Doesn't sound like so much now, huh? You know how much those actors got for Star Wars? And how much money that made? That was Charlie Sheen's gripe. The Chuck Lorre goes, I put, you know, $1 billion in the network's pocket, $500 million in Chuck Lorre's pocket, and I'm getting $1 million an episode. So he made a legitimate gripe. He said, I want to be the highest paid actor on television. Legitimate thing. And I think he wanted $2 million per episode. It was a reasonable thing. He's the lead. This is his show. What was it? The guy, the fucking, not Tommy Mottola, the guy who was married to Mariah Carey. See, this Tommy Mottola was the CEO of Sony Music. He was married to Mariah Carey at one point. Is this a surprise? Guy controls the Sony music business, okay? Power, not money, power, above. Of course he's going to get the best. He's going to get whatever he wants. Anyway, back to Charlie Sheen. So he had a legitimate gripe, you know, because I think it was Frasier, the guy, you know, that played Frasier, you know. He was making a lot. He was the highest paid actor, I think, on television at one point, Kelsey Grammer. And, you know, because he's a lead. Frasier, it's him. You had to pay him. The show was good and everything like that. well, Charlie Sheen made a good gripe, 2.5 Men. He's the lead. It's him. And I forget who it was. Enrico. I don't know. That's a fucking Pepsi guy. Um, the fucking CEO of CBS drove to his house. He was like pleading with him. This and that. What is there to plead? There's nothing to plead. You have to pay him. Because he thought he could convince him. He says, "Oh, we'll work some out." No. He held his ground. He goes, "I get at least that." I forget how much it was. 2.3 one episode. I forget what it was, but it was a lot to make him the highest paid actor on television. And CBS wouldn't give it to him. They held firm. They go, "No." And Charlie Sheen said, "Well, fuck you then." And went to FX and did anger management instead, where he would have control. He could do something. He wouldn't get as much, but and then CBS had a backup plan, and they said, "Well, we can get Ashton Kutcher for 1 million episodes." You basically pulled out the main. You pulled out the main engine of the car that was running. Is what they did. They had no idea of what. But Charlie Sheen knew, though. He knew that it wouldn't run without him, and he was right. He was 100% right that that anger management also. I think anger management went 100 episodes too, but that show was also it 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 it, it fucked everybody because it fucked CBS 2.5 Men, and then it fucked Charlie Sheen because that anger management he was there was nobody to bounce off of. He didn't have the writing, and the show was just it was there was nothing like it wasn't 2.5 Men. You see that the whole thing is what you don't realize for something to work. Like a protagonist or whatever, a lead usually has somebody to bounce off of, to throw their shit at, and there's somebody that will take it, and that was Alan, that was John Cryer. That's what, and then the Berta and the kid and the all the guest stars and whatever. Even though Charlie Sheen is driving the vessel, he's piloting he's captaining the ship, but those people kind of like what they do is they provide it to move forward, even though he's the one running it. Let me give you an example. Seinfeld is another tremendous idea of I never found Jerry Seinfeld funny in the slightest. I don't think he's a funny comedian at all. Okay? But his true genius lies with his writer. Him co-writing along with Larry David. Okay? Not brand new either. And then of course the supporting cast. Okay? All of them individually, nothing works. But being able to, it works differently. It worked differently. 2.5 Men, Charlie Sheen is the glue, that holds it all together, that he bounces off of. But you see, Seinfeld is no Charlie Sheen. He's just average. He's not, you only call the show to give him that credit. But it's all the other people that make it work. The oddness of Michael Richards, Cosmo Kramer, Elaine, like having a woman kind of character there, and then George Costanza, he's, it's the uniqueness of of those people. And then all the guests, whatever, Wayne Knight, Newman, and stuff like that. it was just, and it was timing also. It was timing. I don't think that show would work today. I don't. It was certain timing. It was just perfect for when it was. You know. I met Larry David once in a restaurant briefly. I tried to pitch something like real quick. He wouldn't even hear it. Man, because they're up here and I'm down here is the problem. It's like success begets success. Those people have no rachmunis. Okay, I already said what that meant. That meant sympathy in Yiddish. Okay, doesn't matter. You're trying. Doesn't matter. Okay. I mean, it does in some facets, because if you do absolutely nothing, you get zero. That I can 100% unequivocally guarantee you. But the trying doesn't guarantee you anything. That's all it does, is say there's a possibility of potential in the future with no promises. Without that, you have zero. So all the trying and all the effort and all that put in, you get what's called a chance. Not somebody's going to give you a chance. I'm saying that there is a chance. That's it. There's no guarantee. It doesn't matter. But without without doing absolutely everything, there is zero chance. Okay. With everything and everything and every like the everything you put in, you get what is called a possibility of a chance. Which I can't tell you what percentage it is. I don't know. I don't know. I know what it is without trying is zero. There are miracle stories. I've heard of incredible things about people getting discovered in a bank, that were dramatic. They became a famous actress. Of course you hear stories like that because they're so rare and so far few between and so far fetched that it made the news. Of course, you hear people hit the lotto too. Same thing. It's called pipe dreaming. Most people are. They have this. I watch. I've seen some of these shows. Just because I was, curious what was out there. I watched a highlight. I've never watched America's Got Talent or something. So one time I just watched on YouTube. Okay, show me fast, quick. I want to see what these idiots, what's out there. And that's all it is. A bunch of people that have a talent that's pretty much worthless and trying to make a name for themselves, through variety acts and stuff, novelty acts and things. And this guy, he started, his dad started him in the music business, Simon Cowell. His dad started him, okay? It helps when you get a boost, a big help. Because it gives you the confidence. Somebody shows you the ropes. And put this thing together, stupid thing. It's think about it. A stupid thing. You get these people they're begging to get a little exposure on television. They're begging. Do it for free. So the network's like, all right, well, we put on this most interesting people. They do it for nothing. And then we put, like, the advertisers, Dunkin' Donuts or soda, whatever. We give them free exposure in the commercials to make money off the companies, the channels, and make money off that. The judges get paid. They get like celebrity kind of judges and stuff that pretend like they really care about these people, like these novelty acts. You're great. You're really amazing. You know what? I cannot believe that what I just saw. You are gonna go. You're gonna be really something. That was like, I don't know, Howie Mandel or something I was trying to do. And other airhead, whatever. I don't know what her name is. Is nothing. I don't know how the hell she became anything anyway. I don't even want to say. I don't even know. So Sophia the Vergara, whatever her name is. Sophia Vergara. What the hell did she ever do? A commercial for Pantene or something like that? I don't know what the hell. And so her, and then the guy running the whole show, he's on the corner. Simon Cowell, the guy, he's sitting right there. He's laughing all the way to the bank, like, just telling these people, in all my, I just say that you have something. And these people, they're fools. They're desperate for exposure. And then you got and then you got the sheep sitting in the crowd too. The sheep, they're the biggest fools of all. They always show the crowd some of these morons, the expressions, And you notice whenever they're showing any of these acts, they always cut to the judge's expressions. They see, because it's not about them. People running the show know exactly what they're doing. They show whatever they want. It's not about giving those people a chance. Okay? It's not. You might think it is, but it's not. That's part of the fooling you kind of thing. I know, because I was not on that show, but I was on something very similar twice. Doesn't matter. It's irrelevant. I'm talking about it right now. Don't ever fucking do something for nothing. If you feel like you're talented and stuff. No. They have to pay you. Maybe they do get some type of something if they win. I know. Some of them, but I guarantee you, unless they go very far, they get nothing. It's not like being cast for a show. You don't get, $1 million an episode, right? Not even 50,000, nothing. I was on a couple of shows, dance shows. I got zero. You sign a contract, no, unless you win, you get something. You don't get nothing. Okay? That's how you're taken advantage of. And that's why it's mostly for younger people. Because younger people, their minds can be manipulated. They're desperate for the most part. Older people generally know better. You should know better. If you're an older person and you don't know better, then you're uneducated. And if you're uneducated, you're a fool. I'm sorry, that's like, the straight up straight up truth. You're a fool if you're uneducated. Because you can be fooled.
And I know nobody likes to be called a fool, but it's important because it's the truth. And a lot of people don't want to hear the truth. They don't want it. It takes a lot, to be honest. It hurts. The truth hurts, they say, right? But, if the truth hurts, hurt equates to growth. And growth equates to learning. And learning equates to intelligence, being smart. And being smart and intelligent equates to being wise, if it's followed properly. I don't know. I think that, goes in that order. But it's all done in steps. Yeah, I don't know. I think it's kind of interesting, don't you think? I know I talk about that, about these successful people that wouldn't help you. It's like those judges pretend like they're helping somebody. They're not. They're helping themselves. Themselves. Howie Mandel was doing stand up on a show called Bizarre. I think it was on Showtime back in the late 70s, 1978, 1979, if I'm not mistaken, because I remember the show. Okay? That's how far he goes back. It took him all through the 80s, all through the late 90s, that to get his own show, that Deal or No Deal. You know how many actors have been working since then that never made it? Never made it. There's no guarantee for time put in. I could throw Mark Singer, Beastmaster, the lead, Mark Singer. Same 1983, whatever, 82. And he brought back V. I think it was in 05, maybe a little later. Went 2 seasons. And at the end of the second season, they had a cameo. They put him in there along with Jane Badler, Diana. Supposed to be Anna's mom. Very great tie, and I think it was a great thing. And then ABC made some hard decisions, and they had to cancel a lot of shows. The potential of new shows coming in is that we got to scrap something. Made some very hard decisions. They got rid of V, Mr. Sunshine with Matthew Perry. There was this whatever they had to do. What they had to do, scrap this, and that was the end of it. I was really upset about that because I liked that show. I liked it. It was pretty creatively done for a remake. I'm not a big fan of remakes, but I like that one. But my point was that there are plenty of actors that have been around a long time that, you know, there's no resurgence and there's no, you know, coming in, getting the big payoff. There's no guarantees. Mark Hamill's another one of them. What that guy went through. Can you imagine being in the biggest science fiction movie of all time? And after 83, now I didn't get to, what happened. But can you imagine
After 83, what happened? All through the 80s. What? Okay, maybe in the 90s. What about all in the 90s? What about? And finally, the end of the 90s, they dusted the took the dust off of the Star Wars movies and put out a special edition because they knew they wanted to get everybody ready for episode 1, 2, and 3. So okay, well he's still not in that either. So it's waiting from 83, and it's like, what's going on? And then finally, after the sale, like they approached him. Finally, like 2015, from 83, and that's all they gave him in that one. The deal was $1 million, no dialogue. You just turn around at the end. And I guarantee, he was going to try to play hardball with Disney for that. So I've been waiting. What are you talking about? No dialogue. He got the script. He said, "What do you mean?" It said the first thing. I told you about this. It says under Force Awakens. It says Luke Skywalker has vanished, and he goes, "Oh my God, this is gonna be good," because he thought he's got like a big part in it or something like that. Read this whole script all the way at the end, and he turns around at the end, doesn't say nothing, and he's like, "What the fuck?" But he knew, he knew for that. Okay, I do this. Even though I've been waiting since 80 fucking 3. I turn around at the end, you get $1 million, which is not, whatever. He lives in Malibu, whatever. It's not it's not end of the world money. But the next movie they have to pay him for The Last Jedi. They have to fucking pay him. And that's the only reason why he did it. The only fucking reason. And the only reason that Harrison Ford did the fucking Force Awakens, because they had to pay him. And they had to pay him a lot more than $1 million. So first, Harrison Ford, was already thing, and then Mark Hamill finally got his. It took him on top of, you know. Jesus, I mean, an actor could just, yeah, you could die waiting. Literally, you could die fucking waiting for a chance. It's like the worst. Imagine that though. You have to understand what Star Wars did before, in '77, and then after '83, it was like it was gone. It rode off into the night of nothing. No one talked about it as nothing. All through and up until the late '90s, '99. There's nothing. And that's why Independence Day was so successful, because it was timing when it came out. Anyway, that's yeah. If there's any takeaway from this episode, please understand the difference between money and power. When I say difference, in of itself the same, but understand what it does, what kind of leverage, and how it can be used to manipulate and get people to do things and get people to, yeah, whatever, do things. It's just, and that narrative I talked about, the women saying they were just looking for a nice guy and stuff like that. Yeah, I'm sure there are. I'm sure there are women out there that are. But for the most part, they're very homely,
undesirables. I'm sorry, I hate to say that, but that's what it is. You know, the women that are fond after are prized commodities. Okay, they don't go a day without getting offers, hit on. You're so beautiful. You know, here they've heard it all. Okay, and that creates tremendous interference, and that interference makes it that much more difficult for me. Well, you go to it. So I'm not going anywhere. I'm not going anywhere. Okay. Everybody has a fucking answer. There's nowhere to go. Okay? There's no place. There is no Isle of Lesbos. Okay. I wonder. I think it's in Greek mythology. I'll close on that one. But I heard. Was it in Greek mythology? They talked about this place called the Isle of Lesbos. It's an isle of lesbians, of only women. Now, it's kind of funny because you would think, well, the Isle of Lesbos, oh my God, it's all women there. It's all women there, right? And you go like you're a straight guy, you go to this Isle of Lesbos, and yeah, it's all women there, but they're all lesbians. They're not attracted to men, to a man. It's like in your mind you're thinking, oh my God, there's all these women there. Yeah, but they don't want you. Be kind of a cool movie, huh? To build a story around it, like, and just the guy doesn't know, like, that's his dream, to be on an island with all women, right? But there's no, and then why don't you write it? Why don't you write it? You don't understand something. I have plenty of ideas I come up with, and I don't even bother to write them down. And I'll tell you why. I'll tell you why. Because just writing down a movie idea, whatever, or talking about it, is zero. It's nothing. You have to have a full script, professionally formatted and written and everything, character development and everything. You know what kind of effort, time, energy, and commitment it takes to do something like that. Okay? And then you do all of that. And if nobody buys it, guess what you have? Okay? A real writer, somebody that's passionate about writing, does that because that's who they are. They're a writer. They don't give a shit. They're passionate about writing. I'm not. Okay? I want money. Okay? That's all I care about. And unfortunately, society shuns you like that. Do you remember like that in Star Wars and A New Hope? When the Princess Leia goes to Han Solo, if money is all you care about, then that's what all you'll get. He's like that kind of sourpuss look, like he's. Where'd you pick up that? It's what he needs. He needs the money to pay off Jabba the Hutt, or I'm a dead man. Remember? You're making him out to be a bad guy or something. He's not a bad person. He needs the money. That's what his thing is. But see, the movie uses trickery to make it about him. He's a bad guy. He's a bad guy. He just needs money. Yeah, it's so bad. It's so wrong. Didn't it take Lucas a certain amount of money to make the movie? Okay. Problem is, people don't want to be real with you. They don't want to be real. They say you need money. There's something wrong with you. It's just. telling you, keep selling this narrative that these women, you're going to meet women that don't care, they don't need money. I know I keep revisiting this, but it's the most important thing to talk about over this 2 hours. They are lying to you if they say that. They are lying. You have to tell yourself, you have to understand, when they go get their hair done and they get makeup and they wear the outfits, that all costs money. That money has to come from somewhere. All right. And they do all of that to present a package, an image that they're trying to sell. I don't know. They're trying to look good for everybody. I don't understand why. For their own confidence, for themselves. I don't know. What does that do? I know me. Okay, I like to, try when I go out, to present myself well because it helps with my own confidence. But of course, I'm hoping that the right woman would notice. That's what I would hope. And that it would be kind of like compatible, it would be great. But it's never happened. It's never happened. Because women don't go out by themselves. Generally. There are exceptions. What happens is when they go out with their friends, they leave with their friends. They hang out with their friends. They spend their time communicating with their friends. And if you go in a single guy and you try, you're upsetting the delicate balance of what they're used to. I told you, I went to this Jewish singles thing. All these women, they go with their friends, and you think it's a singles thing. Oh my God, this would be like ideal, right? But it's backwards. They got all this loud music playing like that, but I can't even talk to this person. It's so stupid. And then all the guys show up there, and then you're like, oh my God, the best advice I can give you, if you take anything away from anything I've said about going to places, clubs, go early. Because once a club gets busy and crowded and the noise and everything like that, there's too much interference. There's too much shit going on. You gotta go early. I never did that when I was young. I didn't know any better. I know now. And that old people thing. I go early. Those clubs, those old people thing, it goes from like 7 p.m. to like 11 p.m. So stupid. They treat us like geriatrics, they treat us like old fucking things. Like we can't, it's so stupid. I told you, I went to this thing in Anaheim, whatever, this hotel, and he's outside, and we're going to turn the music down at 10 o'clock. These people are going to sleep. Jesus fucking Christ. Sorry. God, to be fucking lying. I know. It's just, you get like one life, and it's like you get like punished, for being older. Was that No Country for Old Men? I didn't see it, but it feels like that, Fuck. I'm not complaining. Look, I'm not complaining. I'm just being honest. Because I know complaining does absolutely nothing. Complaining does not lead. The only thing you should be is getting mad at yourself in order to spark a change. That's the catalyst. That's the catalyst. Getting mad at yourself is like the catalyst of change, Just get sick and tired of being sick and tired, But do not give in to society's whims. Do not give in to their way of comfort, which they are.
Do not apologize. I did not apologize to that woman working in the checkout. I did not apologize for me being assertive, what she misconstrued as me being a jerk. I think that's what she said. You come in here and act like a jerk, is what she said. And no reaction from me. I got a shit test from her. No reaction to the homo inferior. No reaction. I heard like some of these celebrities, if they go eat at like the Ivy or something, people try to say something, they just ignore them. They will not say a word to them. They don't owe you anything. If it wasn't for the fans, doesn't matter. You're like just one sheep out of many. That's all you are. It's amazing. I do appreciate, this episode. So it was a good one, good 2 hours. I hope that we got something off this one. Um, I will expand more on topics of money and power. I think that's really important um, to understand exactly what it is and what it is not. It's very interesting. I think that it would help myself for clarification, enlightenment. Try tomorrow again. Will Smith said something, talked about, my mom went to, the reason I talk about Will Smith and all these people, my mom went to the same school, Overbrook. It's in Philadelphia, West Philly, I think. So Overbrook is where he went. He named his production company after. Um, he said that his dad, I don't know what his dad, he worked as like a fumigator or like exterminator or something. Rats, vermin. He'd take his son on the calls. And Will Smith would see what his dad kind of work would do, and his dad would say, "All right, well, we're gonna build this. We need to build this wall here from our property line here to here." He says, "What I want you to do," him and his brother, I think, during the summer, it was fucking hot as fuck. He was talking about it. "I want you to lay this one brick as perfectly as you can. Okay?" And it like takes time. Make sure it's set absolutely perfect. One. And he's like, "Well, at this rate, we're never going to get this wall made." He said it took him a year and a half till he laid the last brick on the wall. And then when he was done, his dad told him, "Don't never let anybody tell you that you can't do anything." Great, great, great installation of belief from the father. But what makes Will Smith really is he's got this character in him too. He's not just like, one of these tremendous work ethic kind of things. He's got this personality that's in there. Talked about it when he was in high school. And then he moved into some public school, and he was like in a lunchroom. And you know how he is. He's got that kind of like jovial kind of thing. Yeah, I'm here, man. And he did something like that in front of like everybody that was in the lunchroom. It was like a couple hundred kids. He goes, "I'm here, man. I'm here." It was like, "Who the fuck is this guy?" And one guy got up. He goes, "Tell you fucking just shut up and sit down." And I think like the guy tried to punch him or something. But like my point was that what Will Smith was doing when he was being himself, like being animated, he was showing he was up here. He wasn't destined to be a homo inferior or an average sheep. He was being bold. He was taking chances, risks, unique. His character. One of the sheep didn't like that. Hey, get back in the bucket. Crab's coming out. Get him back in there. A brazen one. He knew he wasn't like those people. It was only a matter of time. But he was young. You know? I want you to think about, did you ever do anything like that when you were in school? Were you ever bold? Stuck your neck out there in front of everybody to be laughed at, criticized, booed, ridiculed? Because you knew you were not like everybody else. I did. Doesn't matter. I don't want to talk about story right now. I'll do it some other time. But think about that. Will Smith became like he's one of the most successful actors of 21st century. Worldwide recognition. Kind of amazing. Okay. Till next time. Warrior Jr. Hope you enjoyed this one. Signing out. Keep fighting. Hopefully have some success to share with everybody. I know it sounds like I'm down, but I'm hanging in there.